Grab the sign-in sheet.
He called me. I wanted to throw her in the car.
Yeah, that's weird for Jeff not to be here, right?
And like, did they understand that
I wanted to put her in the car.
the reorganization meeting, it was like an additional?
I think Greg got the packet and everything.
Yeah, because I sent it.
Guess I can shoot him a text to see if he's coming.
Now it's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you usually, I think you would text me.
Couple last minute people.
Yeah. Oh, everything's okay.
I don't bring my name anymore.
Good evening, welcome to tonight's common, would you turn that thing off?
Not mine. It's not mine.
Whose is it? Somebody turn it off. We'll call the cops on you.
Is it
Is that
yours?
yours?
No, I turned it.
No,
Okay, she got it
mine
off.
is a train whistle. Good evening to tonight's common council meeting for April 9th, 2024. Clerk will call the roll, please.
Tauschek, Herman,
Here.
Mattsdorf,
Here.
Gilson,
Here.
Hildebrand,
Here.
Penquitz,
Here.
Shulsky, Nelson.
Is that 5 or 6?
That would be 5.
We have a problem, Houston. We cannot conduct an official council meeting with 5 members.
Let me,
We need a quorum.
is our quorum 6, Mayor?
Mayor, this is Crystal. Is Alder Nelson there already?
Alderman Nelson is not here. He's on his way, I presume.
I do believe he's on his way. If the council wished to wait a few minutes, he would
That's,
need the
that
quorum.
that was gonna be my suggestion, that we just kind of take a momentary recess and we'll, give Alder Nelson a couple minutes. Thank you. My stick men don't lie.
How come? There's only one meeting that we couldn't do quorum with them.
So this
Multiple reasons.
Yes.
Resist. Stop at Chester's for a quick burger. More important,
I think now we can say that.
Good
because we
evening,
did
John.
that.
Okay.
7:07.
Well, you had another meeting, that's understandable. Okay, for the record, we are back at the council meeting, and let's do roll call once again.
Nelson,
Here.
Hildebrand,
Here.
Matsdorf,
Here.
Penquitz,
Here.
Tauschek, Herman,
Here.
Shilsky, Gilson.
Here.
Let the record show we have a quorum, we're in business. Next item is the pledge, please stand.
Want me to start?
Go ahead. You did last week, I thought you were gonna do it again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I thought you were gonna jump in there again. Welcome, everybody. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the consent agenda. The chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll on the consent agenda.
Herman,
Yes.
Matsdorf,
Yes.
Penquitz,
Yes.
Gilson,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Hildebrand.
Yes.
Motion carried. Next item is the audience portion where we ask people to sign in and be recognized, and you tell us what's on your mind. This evening, Mark Leverins, did I say that right, signed up? You can either stand up there, use your outside voice, and tell us what you have on your mind. Mark?
I'm Mark Leverins. My residence is 401 North Street. I've lived there my entire life. I'm here probably because I'm probably the oldest resident in the area that my matter involves. So I'm here basically on behalf of the residents on North Street between Alfred and Forest Avenue. Every Memorial Day there's a service program in Union Cemetery following the parade. And a number of us for years have talked about it. The vehicle and motorcycle continual constant traffic passing by North Street and the cemetery during the time of the service program is both a constant annoyance, an interruption to the service, and also a matter of disrespect to the veterans, the participants of the program, and everybody in attendance who are trying to, take in what's being presented. Last year alone, there was pretty close to 28 vehicles. I counted. I live just adjacent to the cross street from the cemetery, all of which really had no intended purpose other than just drive by and, stereos going, loud exhaust, what have you. And basically, out of respect to the veterans, past and present, participants of the program, the people in attendance, and equally as important, like Mayor Coleman in January, as a safety measure for everybody in attendance. We, the residents of North Street, primarily between Alfred Street and Forest Avenue, respectfully ask that a portion of North Street within these boundaries be closed off during the time of the program that follows the parade, beginning this year, 2024, and going forward. Typically, it's announced basically 1 hour, 50 minutes to an hour after that, and there's also a law enforcement vehicle that precedes and follows the parade. If they don't want to move barriers, they can just diagonal the police cars, in those two locations and block it off. I took it upon myself. I personally contacted every residence between Alfred Street and Forest Avenue. 100% are on board with this. I've gotten your signatures, and I've even got a number of people both on Forest Avenue and outlining areas that, feel the same way about them. So respectfully ask that the council and the police department also support this going forward and make it a little more presentable day program and also be a little safer.
Good. Thank you very much, Martin. Appreciate you coming in and
I
talking
can
to
give
us.
this to whoever wants it, maybe copies. So I got 100% buy-in from everybody.
Thank you. Moving on to item 5, no items were removed from the consent agenda. Moving on to item 6, proclamations. We have 3 proclamations tonight. Recognition of Writers of Future Week, April 21st to the 27th. Recognition of Arbor Day in the city of Plymouth, April 26th. And recognition of National Library Week, April 7th to the 13th, 2024. I've been asked to read the Arbor Day. We will go through it and then we'll entertain a motion to approve when I'm finished. So bear with me for a minute. The Arbor Day, we are now in our 28th year, I believe, of being Tree City.
31st.
31st. I missed a couple, which is very amazing for a city our size. City of Plymouth proclamation, whereas in 1872, John Sterling Martin proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can be a solution to combating climate change by reducing the erosion of our precious soils by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderating the temperature, cleaning the air, producing life-giving oxygen, and providing habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now therefore, I, Donald Pullman, Mayor of the City of Plymouth, do hereby proclaim April 26, 2024 as Arbor Day in the City of Plymouth, and I urge all citizens to support the efforts to care for our trees and woodlands and to support our city's community forestry program. And furthermore, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the hearts and promote the well-being of present and future generations. Dated this 9th day of April, 2024. The next proclamation is the one for our library. And of course, Library Week, National Library Week, is April 7th through the 13th, 2024. Whereas libraries offer the opportunity for everyone to connect with others, learn new skills, and pursue their passions, no matter where they are on life's journey. And whereas libraries have long served as trusted institutions, striving to ensure equitable access to information and services for all members of the community, regardless of race, ethnicity, creed, ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or socioeconomic status. And whereas libraries adopt the ever-changing needs of their communities, developing and expanding collections, programs, and services that are as diverse as the populations they serve. And whereas libraries are accessible and inclusive places that promote a sense of local connection, advancing understanding, civic engagement, and shared community goals. And whereas libraries play a pivotal role in economic development by providing resources and support for job seekers, entrepreneurs, and small businesses, thus contributing to local prosperity and growth. And whereas libraries make choices that are good for the environment and make sense economically, creating thriving communities for a better tomorrow. And whereas libraries are treasured institutions that preserve our collective heritage and knowledge, safeguarding both physical and digital resources for present and future generations. And whereas libraries are an essential public good and fundamental institutions in democratic societies working to improve society, protect the rights to education and literacy, and promote the free exchange of information and ideas for all. And whereas libraries, librarians, and library workers are joining library supporters and advocates across the nation to celebrate National Library Week. Now therefore I, Donald Pullman, Mayor of the City of Plymouth, proclaim National Library Week, April 7th to the 13th, 2024. During this week, I encourage all residents to visit their library and celebrate the adventures and opportunities they unlock for us every day. Ready, set, library. That was good. Okay. Dated this 9th day of April, 2024. The chair will entertain a motion to approve proclamations as indicated.
So moved. Alderman. Second, Hildebrand.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you very much. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to recognize activities such as this in our community. Moving on to item 7, resolution number 3, approving the City of Plymouth adjusted U.S. Census Bureau urban area boundary. I'll ask our city administrator, Tim Blakesley, to give us a brief summary. Tim.
Sure. So urban areas are defined by the U.S. Census as individual municipalities or groups with populations over 5,000. The urban area boundary is important related to surface area transportation block grants. The WSDOT requires that our urban area boundary be updated approximately every 10 years. So we were in conversations with them over the past month to adjust and modify our urban area boundary as Plymouth expands. So overall, the map has not changed a lot in the last 10 years, but we did increase the urban area boundary size just a little bit. Essentially, it divides areas into urban and rural funding for federal grants from the Federal Highway Administration. So again, we did work with WSDOT and Bay Lakes to update the boundary, and approval is required by Common Council via resolution. So the recommendation tonight is approval of resolution number 3, adopting the adjusted U.S. Census urban area boundary.
Thank you. The chair will entertain a motion so we can discuss.
I'll move that we approve the City of Plymouth adjusted U.S. Census Bureau urban area boundary. Second, Hildebrand.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll, please.
Hildebrand,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Pankwitz,
Yes.
Matsdorf,
Yes.
Gilson,
Yes.
Herman.
yes,
Motion carried, thank you. Moving on to item B, resolution number 4, resolution authorizing the partial redemption of the city's general obligation refunding bonds, Series 2013A, dated September 19th, 2013. General obligation refunding bonds, Series 2015A, dated June 3rd, 2015. And general obligation refunding bonds, Series 2016A, dated May 18th, 2016. Again, I'll ask our city administrator, Tim Blakeslee, to give a brief summary, and then we'll have, entertain a motion. Tim?
Sure. So tonight I'm actually going to turn it over to Finance Director Chris Russo for his presentation debut for council.
I was told by Kathy that I should use the podium, so
Okay.
follow orders here. What this is pretty much just getting our ducks in a row to close out TID 4. Right now, thankfully enough, TID 4 is financially healthy, and we have, money to pay for all our current obligations. And back in September 2023, council approved the affordable housing extension, which will happen in 2025 for TID 4. So really what we're looking to do is just make sure we get everything paid off in 24 here so we can set up that affordable housing extension. We worked a little bit with Ellers, and we still have 3 outstanding general obligation bonds that are listed there. The final payment currently is set in 2025. So really what we're looking to do is just accelerate our payments into 2024 here so we get everything paid off and set up the affordable housing extension in 25.
Thank you. Chair will entertain a motion so we can discuss. If you want to hang loose, Chris, we might have a question for you.
I'll move that we approve resolution number 4. Second, Hildebrand.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? I guess I have a question for Chris. Do we have the cash on hand to do this?
We do.
Okay. And we're moving it up 1 year, so potentially we save a year's interest.
Yeah, so that'll be the rub. Yep, we'll be able to save that interest. It'll be on May 16th. So we have our 2024 payment coming up here on May 1st, and then we'll have that future payment that we're accelerating here on May 16th.
Okay, good. Thank you. Any other questions? Appreciate your time tonight, Chris.
Perfect.
Clerk will call the roll.
Gilson,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Hildebrand,
Yes.
Herman,
yes,
Matsdorf,
Yes.
Pankwitz.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Moving on to item number 8, new business, approved transformer bid from Pennsylvania Transformer Technologies Incorporated. I'll ask Tim Blakely, our administrator, for a brief comment. Tim?
Sure. So the Public Service Commission approved the certificate of authority for our substation project in the town of Mitchell on February 1st, 2024, and issued their final order on March 4th, 2024. The items with the longest lead time for the substation are the substation transformers. The first order of the substation transformer, the first transformer was placed in summer of 2023 to make that projected in-service date of the end of 2025. Now that we do have that final CA, we have moving forward with the second transformer purchase. We received bids in June of 2023. Pennsylvania Transformer was the second low bid at that time, and they did include an escalator clause, which would allow us to continue that price with any escalation as needed. It turns out the escalation price was $15,800 over their bid from at that time, making the final purchase price $1,486,091. Per our electrical engineering consultant, Forrester Engineering, it's highly recommended that you have transformers from 2 different manufacturers in a substation in case there is, in the unlikely event there's an issue with one transformer, the second transformer will not have the same issue. So staff does recommend moving forward with the substation transformer bid from Pennsylvania Transformer Technologies. in the amount of $1,486,091. And we do request the Common Council approve this subject to attorney staff review of the terms and conditions. Last subnote, per the substation agreement, A&R will pay 8/11 of the cost of the transformer price.
Thank you. Chair will entertain a motion so we can discuss.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve the bid award to Pennsylvania Transform Technologies in the amount of $1,486,091.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Of course, as Tim indicated, this would be approved contingent on the discussion with the supplier as mentioned.
Correct, yep, staff and city attorney review.
Yeah. Any other discussion? Clerk will call the roll, please.
Penquith,
Yes.
Matsdorf,
Yes.
Herman,
Yes.
Hildebrand,
Yes.
Gilson,
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you. At this point for the audience, we're going to be going into closed session. We ask you to clear the room. When we come out, we will not be doing